Okay, so where you want to go, man? Let's just go right into it and talk, Ty. Let's talk about fresh food versus cooked and dead food. And, you know, basically what you taught me was when we cook our food, we kill it.
It's just going to put a lot of pressure on the body. Every single time you eat anything that's cooked and processed, it's really taking away from the body instead of giving to the body. Whereas if you are eating an apple or a banana, carrots, broccoli, something that's fresh and living, then even like raw nuts and seeds are fresh and living. So it's more of that and less of the packaged food. So if it's in a box or a can or, you know, just really, really cooked, whether it's microwaved, you know, baked, it doesn't really matter, fried, all of it, once it's been heated over 116, 118 degrees, you've completely taken all the enzymes out. It's whether it's orange juice that's been heated or milk that's been heated. Now that is considered a dead food. And a dead food is food that has been completely denatured of its living potential, its life force, its enzymes. And that's what we're really here to talk about today is enzymes, and then the life of those enzymes giving you longer life.
So, and when she said orange juice being heated, pasteurized. Right?
Yeah,
so
not fresh squeezed.
Not fresh squeezed, so it's dead. So here's the deal. Reason why this is so important and why we're talking about this is when we eat something, things are going to either go right or they're going to go wrong, okay? It's going to take priority. Digestion is in your body when you consume food. It focuses on digestion. It just is what it is.
Yep, no matter what.
And when you eat fresh and living food that has not been heated, that has a life force of its own in that food, it just gives nutrients to the body. There's no pressure on the body, which is super cool. It's really amazing. And then when you cook it, we kill it. And that's where we need to talk, Ty. That's
where all the issues happen.
That's where the issues happen, because when you eat, two things have to happen. You've got to break that food down to the smallest usable, recognizable molecule, right?
Yes.
For your body to pull out any nutrients, vitamins, minerals, whatever. And then you have to pass along what your body, process out of your body, what your body doesn't want.
Yes.
What it's not going to use. So it doesn't.
Get it out.
Get it out of there, man. So it doesn't rot and putrefy. And, you know, that's what happened in my mom's case. You know, I miss my mom. I love my mom. And I've got to take her situation in as one example to say my mom, she was in the restroom a lot. She was constipated. She couldn't, you know, use her bathroom. She couldn't poop enough.
Not just her. That's what's going on everywhere.
Well,
there's so many people that we run into on a daily basis that'll tell us, hey, I haven't gone to the bathroom in 2-3 days, sometimes longer, which is crazy because I'll say, are you still eating? And then they're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they're still eating. It's 3, 4, 5 meals sometimes if it's smaller meals throughout the day, but yet they're not eliminating. And what goes on in our body, even our cells eat, and then they also eliminate. And so we even have dead cells floating around in our body. So the way the body works is we're meant to eat, get nutrients, utilize those nutrients, and get the body to function correctly. So if you're not getting the right nutrients from your food, your body is not functioning correctly. And that's where disease comes in. And it's something so simple and so cheap as to learn and take a digestive enzyme when you're eating to be able to take pressure off of the body. So maybe show them what a digestive enzyme even is.
What it is?
Actually, so these are food enzymes that I want Sean to show you what they do, because I don't even think people understand enzymes. So there's a difference between enzymes and probiotics. A lot of people I talk to, as I start talking about enzymes, they'll go, oh yeah, I'm already taking a probiotic. I'm like, no, this is not a probiotic. It's something very, very different. So enzymes and probiotics are two totally different things, both extremely important and valuable. But what we're going to talk about today is mostly enzymes. I want people to understand what enzymes do and that they break down food, they unlock food. There's hidden nutrients in your food, but if you don't extract them and get them out, your body's starving.
Well, one of the things that when Ty first taught me 20 years ago about enzymes was, she said, Sean, do you know anyone who's lactose intolerant? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And she says, well, all that means, this is really simple, is that that person's body, pancreas, basically, doesn't have enough lactase. It doesn't have enough enzyme. They can't break down the milk.
Not spitting out enough.
It's not spitting out enough. That's all.
You need to digest
really simple.
based on what you're eating.
Yes, you can't break down the milk sugars. That's all. And so, you guys, here's the deal. Let me break this down for you. Let me oversimplify. When we're born, we have our pancreas full of these digestive enzymes, okay? And we don't know what amount we start our life with, okay? And obviously, you know, in my mid-30s with arthritis, what that was I ran out of protein splitting enzyme. So when I would eat protein, it wouldn't always break down to an amino acid usable, what my body would recognize. It didn't know if I had a chicken breast or protein bar, right? It wanted the amino acid. My body wouldn't break it down to an amino acid. It's in my body, it says uric acid, which basically looks like broken glass in my blood, and that's arthritis for me. And so as soon as I learned that, and Ty was teaching me about running out of enzymes to break down milk sugars. I'm like, okay. She goes, you can run out of enzymes to break down your fats. You can run out of enzymes to break down all these things. That's where all these issues begin. I'm like, correct. Okay, I'm starting to get it. So this right here, this little guy, can you see that? Can you see that, Ty?
Maybe, camera.
Is a little full spectrum plant-based enzyme with some stabilized probiotics.
But we're not going to talk about those.
We're not going to talk about those, but they're in there. And it's a little veggie capsule.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you how this works. I take this, and you should take this. Every single person on this planet
that eats
anything cooked or maybe even processed, it's dead. You need to take this. And why? Well, you don't know how many you have. Every decade or so, you lose about 10% of your ability to digest an entire food group. And the whole, the doctors and people, nutrition, they're all figuring this out finally. Ty's been saying this for 20 years. Now everyone's starting to catch up, which is great.
Even the ones that are catching up, though, they're not teaching you that.
No,
so it's,
they're not. They're not teaching you. But the gut's everything, man. It's your immune system's in there. Everything starts with digestion. Everything is about gut health, and they're starting to realize that. I'm going to show you something real quick that Ty showed me 20 years ago. Here's a pudding. You see that? Funky. Let me stir that guy up real quick. This is just something that's cooked and processed.
Yeah, so definitely don't get hung up on the pudding. So this is just, it can be actually any food that Sean's stirring. It could be whatever you ate tonight. It could be a burrito, it could be pizza, it could be steak, it could be lentils, it could be sweet potatoes. If they were cooked,
they're dead.
That's what this is representing. And then Sean stirring it is mimicking the stomach's peristalsis action. Yeah. The wave-like motion that's going to work your food. And then, did you already add it? Nope.
No.
Okay, so he could stir this all day.
Just wanted you to see how thick and nasty this was. No matter, you guys just saw me stir. It's still in there. It's all thick and bleh.
And that can be any food. I mean, I'm sure many of us have left dishes in the sink, dirty, overnight, and then the next day it's all hardened and gross. No matter what it is, a bowl of cereal, pasta, whatever was left over on the plates is hard to even get off of the plates to even wash. So that's basically a lot of our food just sits, and it's a lot harder to break down. So what enzymes do is they're going to unlock the nutrients in the food. So they're going to pre-digest this pudding that we're using as an example of all cooked and processed food that we eat. So once again, it's not about you eating pudding. This is about you eating pretty much anything that's cooked and processed. So unless you're living on raw food, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, celery, and that's raw food.
People say, oh, I'm a raw foodist. Really? No. Do you eat 100% raw food?
Right.
Like always. It's very...
We do know quite a bit.
It's very hard.
A handful of raw foodists. But
yeah, all over the world. We go all over the country and other countries. And let me tell you, we know about 5 of them out of the gazillion people we've seen.
Well, 5 that actually are pretty strict about it.
Right? I mean, that's,
But food is delicious, and there's a ton of it around. And I mean, we've been traveling, and different cultures and people that we visit, they have things that they've been eating for a long time, and then they like to introduce us to it. Let's see, we just left.
And I say no, and Charlene says yes.
I just tried, because we went and saw Sean's family, Irish side, and I had never tried Irish soda bread. So never had that. It
can't be good for you.
It was, I don't know if it's good for you.
Of course not.
My guess is no matter what, it's dead. And then, of course, it was even better with butter on it. So that was dead.
Yeah, butter?
I did sneak some butter on it.
Oh, so she's getting pretty naughty.
So just so you know, but that's what people do. There's different cultures. We went and hung out with some of our Italian friends, and then we get some pasta.
I thought you put some ghee on there or something. Okay, check this out.
Yeah,
I don't need to keep stirring this.
Might have been that.
Here you go. Okay, yes, yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Here it is, all broken down.
Magic.
Enzymes just broke it down.
Enzymes are magical.
They unlock the food.
So what just happened is any of the fats that were in here, so like you can see it's like chocolate milk now. It's pre-digested food. So
it's funky.
But what that does is when you pre-digest your food like that, by taking an enzyme at the beginning of your meal and pre-digesting your food, your body's not going to call on the pancreas so much. It's not going to, you know, stir up a bunch of hydrochloric acid. So you're going to have less of that chaotic stomach acid going on, and you're getting the nutrients immediately. So let's go over enzymes a little bit. So lipase is an enzyme that specifically digests fats. Okay, so lipase digests fats. And then I want you guys to understand why that's so important. We need fats, good usable fats, so they need to turn into fatty acids in order to build like our phospholipid layers, lipids meaning fats, around our red blood cells. So just that one thing to strengthen our red blood cells is just one reason out of many reasons why you would need to digest your fats completely to a fatty acid. The other thing is think of even fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D. And there's a huge issue with vitamin D right now. So even if you were taking vitamin D and then you didn't have the correct usable fats to be able to hang on to that, that would be an issue. So there's a ripple effect when you don't break your food all the way down. That's just fats, for example. Not even talking about gaining weight from not processing your fats, or having, you know, your cholesterol floating around in your body because you're not digesting your fats completely. So then when Sean was mentioning when I had met him, his case was not digesting proteins completely. So those specific enzymes are proteolytic enzymes, protease, protein splitting enzymes. They're enzymes that digest proteins down to their most usable form. So now you're going to have a protein, whatever it is you're eating. So even say you're eating, you know, beans or peanut butter, and you want to be able to break them down because both beans and peanut butter are cooked. So you want to break it all the way down to an amino acid, the building blocks of life. So you can actually feed your muscles, feed your brain. You need the amino acids to function. But if you don't break that protein down to its most usable form, it will cause issues in the bloodstream. So in Sean's case, when he was mentioning, it stayed as uric acid. That would be a bad thing. And so you want to make sure that you're processing all of your foods, especially proteins, all the way down. So then another enzyme I like to talk about is the one that digests all of your carbohydrates, which I don't think people think like about your sugars, or even when Sean talked about the lactase, being able to digest that, but also amylase that's in that group of enzymes that's going to break down all of your sugars. So even all of your starchy foods that you're eating, you need to break them down to a very simple form of glucose that the body can use, feed your brain, give you quick energy. And that's really, really important. Plus most people eat some form of carbohydrate, because I don't even think people realize that some of their vegetables they're eating, you know, that's a carbohydrate. So I want people to understand that anything that you're eating, once it's heated, it's going to be harder to extract the nutrients from that food because of that heating process. And then the enzymes now unlock the nutrients that are in that food that's been heated. So literally every single time you go to grab a cracker, anything, you need to have that enzyme right at the beginning of a meal to take tremendous pressure off the body.
Wow.
Yeah, I can keep going, but
well, I know you can.
This is supposed to be a short talk.
This is good.